this video, we're going to be continuing the backtesting session on EURUSD going from January 2023 all the way up until the end of 2023. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right over to the charts and let's get straight into the session. All right, guys, so thank you for joining me here over on the charts. So what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is just delete all of these markings, and we're going to start from a completely blank chart, breaking it down all the way from the lower time frames, from the higher time frames to the lower time frames. So first of all, weekly time frame. Last time we had said that price was overall bullish, but we had swept this weekly supply zone. So I was anticipating a sort of bigger pullback. And then we also saw that on some of the lower time frames, this is your current daily leg of the trend. You've had sort of like a grab of these lows, and then price did end up breaking this main daily structure. But after price had swept that weekly liquidity level that we identified, on some of the lower time frames, price was presenting some clear bearish order flow. As you guys can see here, we've had on the hourly time frame, price initially flipped bearish just here, kind of pulled back, reacted from supply. So if we mark that on just there, and then broke structure once again. So we're looking now to kind of follow this bearish structure down towards some previous levels. In particular, let's have a look at where we could maybe see price flip back bullish. So sort of down here, we sort of have this area of demand. We could maybe see it reverse from there, but as I always say, you want to be reacting to the market, not trying to predict it. So for now, I'm just going to go with the flow and see what presents in terms of opportunities. So at the moment, it's still looking bearish. You can see price kind of swept this liquidity level, but we're getting this very corrective pullback, lots of momentum coming into the market. So for the time being, I'm still looking for more selling opportunities. I'm just going to fast forward Asia session. Next POI I would potentially look at, so point of interest for anyone new to the channel, I would maybe look at this area right here that we have. So if price can come up into there, that would be a nice opportunity. If it doesn't come up to there, we can obviously look at some new zones. Maybe price wants to go from here. It has just swept that previous high. So maybe not, it might not pull all the way back up into this zone, which again is fine. We're trying to react to price. We're trying to sort of go with the flow and not predict too much. I'm also just going to mark on this area of demand down here, as you could maybe see the buys come back into play from there. So yeah, let's have a look if we can get an entry from here. So price did sweep that liquidity level, but there's not really a valid entry here for me, so I'm just going to keep playing price on. And yeah, there we go. So I no longer see price coming all the way back up to there, but we can look at some new zones now. So we've got another breaker structure right here. So we're looking for a retracement somewhere within this range to look to continue selling. As of right now, not seeing too much unless price can come all the way back up and grab these highs again. So let's just see if that happens. Yeah, so right now it looks like price is just going to come straight down into that demand. We are now in this demand zone, so we could maybe start to look for some buying opportunities here. Also, again, staying reactive to price, not trying to predict too much, because this could easily just be a complete move back down to these previous lows. So let's see how price reacts here and see if we can get in on any buying positions. It is a very clear demand, so even if price is still bearish, you would expect some sort of reaction from here. And yeah, as you guys can see there, price did flip bullish on the M5 and M15. So we've had our change of character. The area I'd look for price to pull back into would be this demand. This a lot clearer to see on the 15. So I'm going to set a limit here. I'm going to have stops slightly below that higher time frame demand, and I'm going to have stops slightly smaller so that we can get a 1 to 3 targeting this previous level up here. So I'm going to place this and we will see how this plays out. I'm now seeing this as an inducement above the level, so I'm going to keep the limit for the time being. Right, okay, I'm going to cancel it now. Slightly annoying, price slightly missed us and then went to the TP, but that was fine. There wasn't really another valid entry. I was looking out for one, but price didn't really present one in the end. So as for what we could potentially see now, we could see price gravitate back towards some of these previous levels. So we have this liquidity level and we have this one as well, which is fairly obvious. So I'm going to be looking for buys up into these levels, as I don't see it likely that price reverses and continues bearish before any of these levels are swept. So I'm just going to keep an eye out for that. As of right now, we could look to follow this 15-minute trend up into those levels. So maybe from here we have a nice area of demand that price has come into. I'm also just going to mark back on the M15 structure. So this is what I'm currently seeing. We've had this sort of structure forming on the lower time frames. So simply looking to buy up towards these previous highs. You can see as well we left equal highs up here. So I don't think it's likely you see a reversal until at least that is taken out. Let's see, maybe we can get a sweep of this level. There we go. So I think price swept the low of that demand that we were looking at. Also took out all of these lows, flipped bullish on the M5. So I'm actually going to set a limit on this area. Because you've had that change of character, you've created imbalance. So this is a perfectly valid setup for me. So I'm just going to set this limit. I'm going to have slightly more conservative stop just below that low. And for this, I'm going to be targeting this previous high up here for a 1 to 3. So let's see how this goes and if price pulls back for us. There we go, nice push so far. Cool, there we go. So first trade of the session, TP hit. You can see as well, if we zoom in on that, price did actually wick out the demand zone we were entering from. But because we had that conservative stop loss placement and didn't just place it like, you know, just half a pip or so below the demand, we managed to stay in the trade and didn't get prematurely stopped out. So you can see now as well, price clearly following this bullish order flow, still continuing to the upside. We have just swept that high to the left, but at the moment, if we fast forward the Asian session, overall structure is still bullish. If price does flip back bearish here, I would consider, you know, looking for bearish continuations instead, because this whole move up looks quite corrective. I would be surprised if price doesn't come down and re-grab these lows at some point. So in terms of structure, what do we have? So this is the current leg we're looking at. If price can sweep Asia low, I would consider some more buys. Okay, so there we go. We never got the sweep of Asia low. Price just continuing to the upside, and it has also just swept that more premium liquidity level. So I'm actually going to be looking for some shorts here. I'm seeing basically two possibilities. Either we see like a small correction down for higher prices later on, or this could be a complete reversal back down towards these previous lows. Now that everybody is sort of in these buys, is fairly obvious. It's almost too obvious, so you don't really want to be looking for more buying opportunities here. So yeah, price has swept this high to the left. I'm going to be looking out for some shorts. If price can obviously confirm the shorts by flipping back bearish on the lower time frames, we don't want to be predicting it. We want to be going with what price shows us. So there we are. You can see clear volume coming into the market. Price broke past two levels of 15-minute structure. Yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to pull back though. So I think our analysis was very good. As you guys can see, price did end up selling off back towards these lows, but we did not get a pullback, so there wasn't really an opportunity to enter. Idea for now is that we could see price head back into these lows, which I think is very likely. I don't think price is going to stop before sweeping that low. So yeah, if we can see a pullback here, I would be happy to sell down into that low. But at the moment, it doesn't look like price is going to pull back. And yeah, there we go. So we did sell off into the low, but price never pulled back for us, which is completely fine. But we now have some more sort of clearer intent. Price is very clearly bearish. We're moving with all of this momentum. So the next areas where we could maybe see price react from in terms of the higher time frame. So daily time frame, I think it's now very likely you see price at least come and target, this daily time frame low. Below that low, you also have a daily demand zone where we could maybe see price react from. I'm keeping in mind as well that overall the daily time frame is still bullish. This was the current leg of the trend. So until price breaks this low, daily time frame is still technically bullish. But yeah, as you can see, clear momentum coming into the market. What I would wait for now is maybe a pullback into this sort of area to continue selling price down. Let's see, do we have any other areas that price could react from? Not really. This would be the only one that interests me at the moment. Yeah, but I don't really see price coming all the way back there now. So instead, again, we're reacting to price. What we could maybe see is, we have this area of supply right here. Price has swept Asia high and also I think this was London high. Yeah, London high into this area of supply. So we could maybe see some reactions from here. Or price could maybe come slightly higher. But yeah, let's just see how price reacts here on the lower time frames. Okay, so clearly we didn't get the reaction there. Price is continuing higher. Where has it come into now? We've kind of grabbed this last bit of internal liquidity. Still overall bearish, as you guys can see. So what I'm thinking here is that most people are going to be viewing this as a change of character or a break of structure for continuations to the upside. But how I'm personally going to view this, we've left these sort of higher time frame equal lows below. We've come up, grabbed highs into this imbalance. Overall price is moving with quite a lot of bearish momentum. So I'm actually going to be looking out for some shorts here. If we can get a valid lower time frame confirmation, that is. So let's see. There we go. So as you guys can see, price swept the high, re-grabbed the high one more time, broke bearish on the M5, and we have now created a clear area of imbalanced supply. So I'm going to set a limit on here. Actually, I'm going to wait and see how price develops, because what I don't like here is that for my trade, I would have to have the stop loss all the way above this wick, which completely ruins the risk to reward. So let's see how price develops. Yeah, there we go. So it did end up grabbing that wick one more time anyway. I would still consider shorts from here if it can break structure now that it has swept the high to the left, re-grabbed the high one more time. So rather than seeing this as a break of structure, I'm more so viewing it as like a sweep for sells. If we can obviously come down and break some structure. At the moment, this is the current low that I would look for a confirmation at. If price can break it, which it looks like it wants to do. Okay, so it hasn't quite swept it. It's formed these like equal lows with it. That's not currently valid for me. I need to see a break below. And yeah, there we go. So that's our break below previous structure, as you guys can see just there. I'm going to fast forward Asia session again. And what I would be looking out for now is maybe if price could pull back into, if we look on the 15-minute, we have all of this I'm seeing just as like an internal liquidity. The area I would maybe look for price to pull back into would be this one, but it's not really a clear area for me, so I would want to see another confirmation in this zone before looking to sell from it, rather than just setting a limit. Yeah, it looks like price just wants to continue down without pulling back. We could also maybe see the shorts from, we have this new area formed, some liquidity below it as well, so we could look for that area. Okay, price came up into that more premium level. Again, this does not really look like a reversal to me, because we have, you know, like created these equal lows down here. Price was overall bullish, sorry, overall bearish, and yeah, you can see this is just like a random support level. It didn't really break any structure to the upside. So either price goes from here, or we could maybe see a regrab of these equal highs, but still I'm looking for more sells rather than the buys. Buys don't really interest me at the moment. Currently there's not really any M5 structure, so maybe we see price come up, regrab this high, and then break structure. That would be valid. Yeah, so you guys can see, did come up into our zone, but we didn't get a valid breaker structure, so that wasn't quite a valid trade for me. And yeah, there we go. So analysis was great on that, but unfortunately didn't manage to get an entry. Cool, so price is now continuing down. Again, we have this clear direction, so I'll just be looking for more selling opportunities back down towards this daily liquidity level, which I think is very likely price heads back towards. You can see as well, there's not really anything to stop it now. So we have kind of like this clear run and nice opportunity to sell down towards it. So let's see if we can see a pullback in price, and then we could look to jump back in the sells. Currently, I would be looking at this next level that we have just here. So if I mark that on, maybe we could see a reaction from this area. Asia high has been swept. We also kind of have an area of supply above this area. So this is the next POI. There we go. So Asia high swept. This previous liquidity level was also taken out. Price is in supply. So let's see if we can get an entry here. Okay, so I'm going to enter here around this area. So we've had our breaker structure. Price created some liquidity above this area of imbalanced supply. So I'm going to enter from here and have stops slightly above the high in case price wants to grab it one more time. And I'm going to target the current trend low down here, which gives us around a 1 to 3.7. So the risk to reward is there. No reason not to take this. As long as price actually pulls back for us. There we go, we're tagged in. I'm going to fast forward the Asian session. Cool, there we go. So price is breaking down nicely. Ideally, we want to see it close below this low. At the moment, we've kind of had just a wick below. But as always, I don't make any of my trades break even. I just let them run. Okay, nice. So in the end, ran for around 2%, came back up, stopped us out, but that's fine. It was a valid opportunity. So now we can just look for price to come up into a more premium level and then look for more selling opportunities. Again, I'm not seeing this as a reversal just because price, didn't really come into anything to the left, and overall we are still in this bearish trend. So next area we could maybe see, if we look back on the daily, kind of have this daily high just here, we could maybe see price come and sweep. So yeah, let's have a look what price does from here. It is also kind of within this supply, which was a whole 4-hour supply zone, which is in the current leg of the trend as well. So let's see how price develops from here. Yeah, very clearly price didn't respect that area. So thoughts now is to see price come up into at least this level. Like, given all of this momentum and given how price approached this level, you would at least expect that to get taken out, rather than for price to just continue down from here. So what I think we could actually do here is maybe look for a counter trend buying opportunity up into that level. Maybe now that price has grabbed these previous lows. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking out for. This is obviously counter trend, like I said, but the reason for it is you have this clear momentum coming in. Price did not yet sweep that previous liquidity level, which you can see it kind of formed these equal highs with. So that's the reason why I'm looking for counter trend trades here. Yeah, I'm going to fast forward the Asian session again. Actually, you can. So I'm going to go back to the original idea, which is that we had a sweep of these highs. Price reacted from supply, and it is overall bearish. So I'm going to look for sells here because price didn't respect our level. You can see as well the 15-minute did flip back bearish just here. So yeah, if I was looking for shorts here, I would look for a pullback into this sort of region, unless price creates liquidity below this one. Yeah, so there we go. I'm going to set a limit on this area. Stops slightly above this high. If price comes any higher than that, I don't want to be in this. And for this trade, I'm going to target current low down here. Slightly more aggressive risk to reward on this one. There we go, we're tagged in. Ideally, price can break this low. Cool, there we go. So Asia session pushed down. Yeah, I'm good to hold this. Let's just see how price develops. Damn, so price ran around 6% and then pulled back for us. So that was my bad. What I should have been doing there is targeting this opposing liquidity, saw the reaction and then got out. Slightly annoying, but let's see how it develops from here. Okay, so what we can see now is what I originally said was that price pushed all the way up, grabbed these previous highs, tapped into this imbalance above. So we could start to see some sells coming in from here. I'm slightly annoyed about that last position. We should have been managing it better. But yeah, if price doesn't go from here, it's probably going to head back towards this next high to the left. But yeah, let's see how this sort of develops. I'm liking the reaction so far. In terms of the M5 structure, you have, so price kind of pulled back here. So we need to see a break below this low for me for it to be confirmed. There we are. So price did flip back bearish after sweeping that main 4-hour high, as you can see just there. Okay, so price has come down, pulled back. It's currently reacting from this supply zone. Asia high has been taken out. As you can see, I'm just going to refine this as well to this M15 zone. Okay, so on the M5, it also flipped back bearish. Let's see if we can get a good enough risk to reward if we enter here and target this current low. Okay, so we can't quite get a 1 to 3, so what I'm going to do is actually place this slightly higher, just here, and see if price can pull back for us. Cool, there we go. So price did end up pulling back for us, and we got that nice sell for around a 1 to 3 into the current lows. So even though we got stopped out on this initial position, which was slightly annoying because it did run 5%, we managed to capitalize on the move. So yeah, there we go. So very clearly now, once again, price gravitating towards these daily lows. So I'm looking to maybe jump back in some sells back down towards those levels. Yeah, so let's have a look if we can get a pullback here into another zone. So currently I would maybe be looking at this supply zone up here. That would be nice. There we go. So price also swept some previous inducement into it. I'm not really seeing any levels above this either that price would likely come back to. Unless maybe it can come all the way back up into this premium area, so the extreme of the current range, which is this candle. But yeah, for now I'm just going to look for sells at this level if we can get a valid entry. There we go. So it did break structure on the M5. We've got clear momentum coming in as well. I don't really like here how it made the move down, grabbed Asia low, and is now pulling back up. So yeah, I'm going to avoid this one. Yeah, there we go. So price did end up coming back up anyway, as you can see. It's still in the supply though, so if we get a valid break of structure here, I'll still consider entering. Yeah, so currently I would need to see it break this wick. That's the most recent structure. Could maybe see, if we see a confirmation from this area, I'd be happy to enter to target these equal lows down here. So yeah, let's just see. This level could be nice. Yeah, so we did get a reaction, but wasn't really anything too clear there. Okay, next POI for me is this M15 zone that price has just tapped into. looking to sell price down into the current trend low, which is this one. So let's see how it reacts here. Yeah, okay, so accurate zone, but as you guys can see, no valid broker structure, so wasn't a valid entry for me. Annoying again, we didn't manage to get an entry there, but good analysis. And yeah, price is approaching that daily low. I'm actually just going to mark it on with a line so I know when it's hit. So yeah, let's see if we can get in on another pullback and sell down into that low. So see how price develops here. In terms of valid POIs, I'm not seeing too much at the moment. So maybe we look on the daily. This whole area up here I'm aware of, which is like a daily supply zone. Price may want to retest that at some point. As you can see on the daily as well, did create imbalance. So I'm kind of being cautious of trying to sell below that level, just because I think there's a high chance price comes up into it. For now though, we could maybe look at this supply zone, which is more so in the current leg of the trend, which is between this high and this low. So let's see how price reacts from here. This could be a valid entry. Yeah, there we go. So we did get an M5 change of character. I would first of all want to see price close below this more convincingly. At the moment, it just looks like a sweep. Ah, yeah, there we go. So that's what I wanted to see. What I would look for now is a pullback into maybe this area, unless price develops some more. And then obviously we look for a new zone instead. In this case, it doesn't look like it's going to pull back. Yeah, there we go. So it just went straight towards the low. I wouldn't have wanted to enter on this one just because there wasn't any clear liquidity below it. So it didn't quite fit my criteria, but let's move on to the next trade now. Cool. So again, following this structure down to that daily liquidity. Okay, so what I'm liking here is we've had Asia high swept. Price came into this supply zone on the 1 hour. So this is the next POI that I'm looking at. Higher time frame wise as well, you've kind of created relative equal lows down here. If price comes any higher than this, maybe we could see a sweep of the top of this zone. And of course as well, we also have that daily supply still above. So yeah, let's see how it reacts here. So as I said, either price reacts from here or we get a sweep of it. I'm also just gonna get rid of this just so it's clearer to see. There we are. So it did break some structure. Cool, so what I'm seeing here is we've had an M5 breaker structure. We have this imbalanced supply. So I'm actually gonna set a limit on this. Have stops slightly above. And for targets, we're gonna go for the, I don't really want to target past this. So maybe have a slightly smaller stop. And I'm gonna set this limit. Yeah, okay, so price looks like it's gonna come higher. As of right now, Actually, I think the zone we should have been entering on was this one. Like, as you can see, clear 15-minute supply zone. So I'm actually going to jump back in here. If it's a loss, it's a loss. That's completely fine. Yeah, I'm going to go for a 1 to 3. Yeah, that's fine. So no longer looking for sells there. My next level would now be this previous liquidity, as it doesn't look like price is reacting from this area. And yeah, as you can see, Asia pushed up. Haven't yet swept that high, but it looks very likely. And yeah, there we go. So price grabbed this high. What I'm noticing here as well is it did kind of come into this hourly zone to the left. Asia high taken out, and we've now kind of got this momentum coming in. 5-minute flipped bearish with imbalance. So this is now a valid setup for me. If price can pull back into this sort of imbalance up here. So yeah, let's see if it can do that. That would be nice. And we can look to sell down, targeting this low to the left. Damn, so it doesn't look like it's pulling back for us. Yeah, so that's annoying. Just a case of it selling off again without giving a valid entry. In terms of analysis though, we were right about price sweeping this level and then continuing down. But yeah, cool. We didn't manage to get an entry on that. Price has now broken the main structure again. As you can see here. Hasn't yet swept this daily low. You can see it kind of created equal lows with it. So if price can start to pull back here, this would be a nice opportunity to look for shorts into it. As of right now, not much is going on, so let's just see how it develops. Yeah, there we go. That looks like some sort of news that came out. Cool, so price did sweep that daily low, but at the moment, price is still bearish, so I'm not looking for buys until we see a clearer reversal and for price to show us that it actually wants to reverse. But yeah, daily low taken out. Hasn't yet come into the demand down here. But yeah, we could start to see a bigger pullback from here because that daily low was swept. Look at this daily candle as well. Clear push back up. So yeah, let's have a look on lower time frame. One level that I would watch for sells would be this one. If price breaks straight above it, then I would see that as a reversal. But if it starts to break structure again from here, we could maybe look for some selling opportunities instead. So London has opened, Asia high has been taken out. This high has also been taken out, which was that main hourly lower high. So yeah, if we can get a breaker structure here, I'm gonna get into the sells. There we go. So as you guys can see, we did end up breaking structure. Price created some imbalance up here, so I'm gonna look to enter from here. If we can get a pullback into that zone, going to have stops slightly above that high, and for targets we're going to go for the current low down here. So let's see. Yeah, I'm going to cancel this now. Price didn't pull back for us. Yes, that's annoying. Another case of price just slightly missing us. Next zone, I would potentially look to get back in the shorts. We have this area on the M15. Or a sweep of this area, that would also be valid. there we go. I'm in shorts from here. Stops above the highs. And I think we can get a 1 to 3 targeting the lows. If we wait for a slight pullback. There we go, we're in. Can price hit TP. Cool, so there we go. Right, reason behind that trade, I didn't really explain it, but what I saw was that we obviously had this higher time frame pullback. These previous highs were taken out. Very clearly after that, price flipped back bearish. We came back up, swept that M15 supply. On the 5 minute, price broke structure and flipped back bearish. So I was willing to enter market execution here based on the fact that we could already get a decent risk to reward targeting the current low. So yeah, that was my thoughts behind that trade. But yeah, hourly has now broken back bearish, as you guys can see. We are approaching this daily demand zone. I'm going to be cautious of that because we could see buys come into play once price reaches this area. And if it does reach this area, I would also be willing to take some buys as well. On the basis that the daily is still bullish, price has swept previous daily lows into this area of demand. So yeah, let's keep an eye out here. I'm just keeping that sort of bullish scenario in mind as a possibility. And yeah, there we go. So price has tapped into it. I'm going to fast forward Asia session. And yeah, this is what I wanted to see. So as you guys can see here, M15 flipped bullish. So what I'm going to wait for now is a pullback into the demand. And I'm going to get into some buys from here. Stops just below that area. And I'm going to target this supply zone to the left. Can it pull back for us? Oh, that was like perfect. The price tapped into our zone, hit TP, and then it looks like it's gonna come back down and hit stop loss. I'm just gonna actually make sure, did this actually tag us in? Yeah, so we made 3.2% on that one, as you guys can see. It was literally one 15-minute candle, so that was a perfect trade. The reason for the TP as well was I saw this supply zone that I thought price was likely going to react from. It was also this hourly supply zone as well, which you guys can see now price has tapped back into. So yeah, thoughts here, price is coming back towards these current lows. Like I mentioned in the last video, one of the characteristics I've noticed with EURUSD is that when it is in these higher time frame demand zones, it will very often make an initial move and then come back, re-grab the lows before continuing to the upside. So what I would be looking out for here is maybe if we can, like price has just done, re-grab the lows, then flip bullish, and then we can look for some more buying opportunities. So here we've seen it break that low. Currently there's no structure for it to break unless it comes all the way back up to these highs. So let's see how it develops here. Other possibility is obviously if price comes back down and grabs these lows one more time. At the moment it looks like it's gravitating towards that high though. Yeah, there we go. So that is a very clear change of character on the hourly time frame, as you guys can see just there. Again, we reacted from this daily demand, price grabbed the initial push away from it, and now we've had this shift in structure, sort of back to bullish price action. So what we could maybe see now, I'm keeping this daily supply zone marked just because it's a zone I see price likely reacting from. So yeah, let's keep some of this marked up. I think at least now, based on this momentum, price is likely going to come and grab some of these daily highs that we have. So I'm going to look for more buying opportunities up into them. You know, at the very least, you would expect price to come up into this previous liquidity level. Very unlikely that we see a reversal before that. So yeah, cool. Let's have a look if we can get a pullback. Okay, next buy-in zone, we could look at this hourly demand that we have right here. Very clear momentum coming into the market, as you guys can see. So just looking for more buying opportunities with the trend. I'm going to fast forward Asia again, just because obviously we wouldn't be trading it. So yeah, price has come lower. We've grabbed the Asia low and also this previous level to the left during London session. So if we can get a valid change of character here, I'm going to jump into the buys. There we go. So this is valid. We've broken structure, created an area of imbalance. I'm going to wait for a pullback into here. Stops just below. And for targets, I'm going to target this current high just up here. There we go. We're in the trade. Okay, cool. So little loss on that one. Price looks to be coming lower. Okay, so again, I think this is a case of us being early. Price re-grabbed the low. Like I said previously, one of the key characteristics of EURUSD always sweeps the initial tap, or nearly always does, and then gives the change of character. If we can get a pullback into this zone, I'm going to jump back in, but it doesn't look like it wants to pull back. Yeah, there we go. So price never pulled back for us. Cool. So thoughts now, maybe we see price come down, re-grab these lows again. That's the only POI that I'm currently seeing, or not. So price looks just to be continuing up now, as we can see. Still looking for it to come towards that daily supply zone though. So we still have a decent amount of room before looking for potential sells. Momentum is still very much bullish as well. Look at all of these daily highs price has created as well. So still looking for buys at the moment. So two things I'm seeing, maybe we could see grab at the low of this sort of consolidation, or we also have a demand zone down here. We could maybe see price come into. Ideally it comes down to this zone, that would be much more high probability. Yeah, there we go. So price did end up coming lower. Cool. So we're now in this demand zone. I'm still bullish for the time being. Still looking for continuations up towards this daily supply zone. So yeah, let's see if we can get a reaction here. This would be a nice area to buy from. Currently not seeing anything on the M5. Okay, cool. So price coming lower. Didn't get the reaction we wanted. It kind of has come into this demand though, which was a more discounted area that I didn't see before. So yeah, prices now as well. I like how this looks. We have sweep of liquidity into it. So let's have a look how it reacts from this zone. There we go. So we've had that change of character. Like I said before, re-grab the lows in the demand before the real move happens. We have this demand created. So I'm going to enter from here with stops below the low. And I'm just going to target a 1 to 3 on this one, just because I'm not really seeing any clear targets and I'm less confident in this trade. Yeah, there we go. So price continuing lower anyway. Cool, let's see what it wants to do from here. I'm not really too confident in the buys anymore. Yeah, so what I'd actually look for here, we've kind of had this hourly change of character and then this area of supply created. So I'm now kind of switching my bias back to shorts. I'm no longer really seeing the buys. We've kind of come up, you know, grabbed some of these highs and then shifted back bearish. So I'd be more sort of interested in seeing price gravitate back towards this low down here. And maybe for it to continue this higher time frame trend back towards this low down here instead. You can see on the daily as well, it did sweep some previous daily highs. So yeah, cool. Let's see if price can come into this zone and we can look for some shorts. Yeah, there we go. So correct analysis, but again, not really any valid entries. And price is now continuing the bearish structure. So next area to target would be this low down here. I think price is likely going to gravitate towards that now. So let's see if we can get a pullback before that happens. Yeah, so we did get a pullback, but there wasn't really any POI there, so not a valid opportunity for me. But yeah, you guys can see now we've broken that main higher time frame low. So once again, just looking to continue these selling opportunities. Yeah, right now, 2 POIs I'm interested in. We have this sort of region, or if price could come up and grab this high just here, that would also be a valid opportunity for me. Depends if it can do that or not. So yeah, let's see if we can pull back here. Doesn't look like price wants to pull back. Yeah, so we've kind of now pulled back, grabbed Asia high and grabbed this previous high into the supply zone. Again, what I'm doing here is I'm reacting to price. I'm not predicting that it's going to come all the way back up to here now. If we look back out on the daily time frame, very clearly price looks to be gravitating towards these previous lows at least. So I'm going to be looking to sell price down into those lows. I'm seeing that as an area of liquidity. So yeah, let's see if we can get an entry here. I'm liking how this is looking. Again, though, there's not really any lower time frame structure here. You just had this one big move. Could maybe look to short from just above this high. Okay, damn, so we should have actually been selling from that supply. Again, though, that wasn't valid for me because there was no liquidity below it. Okay, so thoughts here. price has reacted from the supply. We're kind of just consolidating, but it pulled back and grabbed the last bit of internal liquidity in this whole range. So yeah, I'm actually going to enter a short here if we can get a pullback, and I'm just going to target a mechanical 1 to 3. Yeah, it looks like a loss on this one. Yeah, there we go. Cool, so we'll get out of that and look for another opportunity. Price has come back up, retested the supply zone. So maybe we can see some shorts from here. Currently, no structure has been broken, so still playing price. Ideally, what we want to see here is a re-grab of these highs. Don't really want to sell below that level. Yes, there we go. That high was re-grabbed. It also re-grabbed or swept the supply zone to the left, as you guys can see just there. So yeah, this could be a nice opportunity to sell from if we get a valid entry. If we check the daily time frame as well, yeah, so we haven't currently swept any daily lows, so I don't think this is likely to be a reversal. Could be wrong, but let's just have a look how it develops from here. No structure broken just yet. Fast forward the Asian session because obviously we don't trade it. And yeah, there we go. So we have a clear breakdown in price now that it grabbed that previous low. What I don't like here though is it already came down and grabbed the opposing liquidity. So maybe we see a pullback here, but let's have a look. Nice, so it kind of came back up, retested the supply zone. So yeah, maybe we could see some shorts from here. Nothing right now for me. Okay, cool. So now what we would expect is for price to come up and re-grab that high. Maybe we can look to buy up into it if we get a valid opportunity. So we've retested this demand, right? We've kind of come up, haven't yet swept that high. M5 flipped back bullish, created an area of demand. So this is slightly lower probability, but I'm going to enter buys here and target that current level we were looking at. So this high to the left. Okay, so we did end up getting stopped out on that one, slightly annoying, but let's move on to the next trade. This is quite messy at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it for a bit. Yeah, okay, so price did end up continuing lower. Should have stuck to the original bias, which was to see sells, but let's move on. And cool, so price has now swept that daily liquidity level, as you guys can see. So yeah, gonna mark that on. We could maybe see a bigger pullback from here. If it doesn't react here, then obviously the next level I would look at would be this one. Again, for a potential reversal. But yeah, guys, this video is already going to be quite long, so I'm going to end it here and save that for the next part. So if you guys did like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I will put a link to the previous part somewhere above here, somewhere above me on the screen right now, so you can go watch that. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.